Hello, this is John welcoming you to the 2132nd edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, Dateline 15th of February 2018. The readers this week are Danny, Patricia, Reena and me, John, with Peter on the controls. The editor was Phillip and the production and distribution team is Phillip, Jean and Lindsay. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Pree, Fernand Bouillon, Harry Breuer, and is performed by Jean-Jacques Perret and is used with his kind permission. The local news stories that we will be reading come from the Enfield Independent and the Edmonton Green Magazine and are their copyright. The events information has been collated by us from other sources. The lead story this week, Driving a Solution to Stop Parking Chaos. Before the news, we have the sunrise and sunset times for the week beginning the 19th of February, and they are 07:08 and 17:10. Do get in touch with us to share your own news and special announcements. We love to hear from you. If you have any comments about the Enfield Talking newspaper, please phone Diane de Jersey on 020-8805-6578. She is your listener's representative and will be pleased to help you. Now, John will read the first item of local news. Driving a solution to stop parking chaos. Enfield Council is proposing a controlled parking zone around Tottenham Hotspur's new stadium from the start of the next season. People are now being urged to take part in a newly launched consultation to look at the plans. A controlled parking zone would operate between noon and 9 p.m. on event days to ease congestion. Those who live in the proposed zone or have businesses there would be issued with 3-year parking permits free of charge. There will be a nominal charge for visitor permits. The consultation ends on February the 23rd. In 2017, Enfield Council consulted people about potential parking problems in the South Edmonton area that could result from the opening of the new stadium adjacent to High Road. Councillor Daniel Anderson, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, said, "We are committed to building strong communities in our borough and believe this is a sensible and workable plan to avert the likelihood of hundreds of vehicles potentially clogging up residential roads in Edmonton on event days. However, before we proceed, we'd like residents to tell us their thoughts and ideas so we can ensure that, together, we can find the right long-term solution to this imminent problem." Tottenham Hotspur Stadium will have a capacity of over 61,000 people. In addition to Premier League football matches, the stadium can be used for up to 16 major non-football events each year. The club is promoting the use of public transport to and from events. You may visit Enfield Council's website, which is www.enfield.gov.uk/consultations.
Everything you need to know about stroke. Strokes might be something we tend to associate most with older generations, but new Public Health England (PHE) figures are painting a different story. The average age of suffering a first stroke has declined fairly rapidly over the past decade, with over a third of first-time strokes now happening in people aged between 40 to 69. The Act Fast campaign has just been relaunched to remind people of all ages to be aware of stroke symptoms. Leading cause of disability. Serious strokes are very serious, life-threatening medical conditions that happen when blood supply to part of the brain is cut off, either due to a blockage in an artery, ischemic stroke, or a leaking or burst blood vessel, hemorrhagic stroke. When it comes to spotting the signs and getting help, time is crucial. No matter your age, experts stress that urgent medical action is always required in the event of a stroke. How to spot the signs. FAST, Face, Arms, Speech, Time acronym, has featured in stroke awareness campaigns for a number of years now. It is a simple way to help people identify the most common warning signs. Face. Has their face fallen on one side? Can they smile? Arms. Can they raise both arms and keep them there? Speech. Is their speech slurred? Time. Time to call 999. Calling 999 as soon as you see even one of the symptoms develop is essential, says Tony Rudd, National Clinical Director for Stroke with NHS England and stroke physician at Guy's and St Thomas's NHS Foundation Trust. Every minute counts, and knowing when to call 999 will make a significant difference to someone's recovery and rehabilitation. Cut your risk of stroke with healthy lifestyle tweaks. Thankfully, strokes are often preventable, and adopting some healthy lifestyle tweaks can make a significant difference to your long-term risk. 1. Healthy weight and diet. Research shows that being obese increases your chances of having a stroke related to a blood clot by 64%. So taking steps to maintain a healthy weight is important. 2. Quit smoking. Smoking significantly increases your risk of stroke because cigarettes damage the lining of your arteries, increasing the chance of a blood clot. 3. Cut down on booze. Alcohol contributes to a number of conditions that can increase your risk of a stroke, so it's important not to drink more than the recommended limit on a regular basis. Official guidelines recommend no more than 14 units to be spread throughout the week. 4. Cut down on salt. Too much salt is the biggest cause of high blood pressure in the UK, and high blood pressure is a leading cause of stroke. Guidelines suggest adults should consume no more than 6 grams of salt per day. 5. Get plenty of exercise. Decreasing your chance of having a stroke could be as simple as going for a gentle daily jog or walk. Research from Stroke Association shows that regular, moderate exercise can reduce your risk of stroke by 27%, and every little helps.
Architect delighted to be recognised. An architect has received formal recognition for her groundbreaking research. Dr. Terry Okoro became a Fellow of the Royal Institution of British Architects on February the 1st. The award was given for her work designing lifetime homes, promoting architecture as a career to young people and volunteer roles. Dr. Okoro says she is delighted to be officially recognised alongside other distinguished individuals at the Royal Institution of British Architects. She is the founder and director of Winchmore Hill-based TOCA, which is an architecture and project management consultancy. It is an accredited Royal Institute of British Architects chartered practice. In 2017, TOCA celebrated 25
years. An academy
years
in Edmonton has been ranked as one of the best schools for modern foreign languages for the 3rd consecutive year. Nightingale Academy is in the top 1% of schools nationally for its modern foreign language results. 75% of the school's students have English as an additional language, and the school's diversity is seen as its strength. Many students are qualified interpreters who practice their skills when helping the school and community. In 2017, 83% of Year 11 students achieved A-star to C grades in languages. A record 92% achieved A-star to C in Spanish, with 56% awarded A or A-star and 100% an A-starred to D. Avni Aliage, head of Modern Foreign and Community Languages, said, "Languages are a preferred GCSE option at Nightingale, and the overwhelming majority of students study a language at Key Stage 4, whether that be French, Spanish or Turkish. One of the main factors of our success is the fact that we regard students' English as additional language status as an asset rather than a disadvantage. Most of our students are natural linguists, already fluent in 2 or more languages. They have already created a language learning system in their heads, which gives them an advantage when tackling yet another language. English as additional language students understand complex linguistic concepts and develop fluency faster than their monolingual peers. Our job as language teachers is to simply recognise and unlock this potential. Of course, this wouldn't have been possible without consistently high-quality teaching from a strong team of passionate linguists, high expectations for all learners, and the use of an array of dynamic teaching strategies and resources. Students regularly take part in Erasmus and other international projects with schools across Europe. Some are chosen to spend 1 week in target language countries like France, Spain, Turkey or Poland 3 or 4 times a year. Since 2013, over 400 Nightingale Academy students and staff have travelled to European countries as part of these projects. Mr. Aliage added, "These visits are unique opportunities to take language learning well and truly out of the classroom and to use it in real-life situations. Most of the students from my Year 11 class, for example, who spent 1 week in Spain last year as part of our current Erasmus Plus project, achieved either A or A star in their Spanish GCSE.
Please to help Age Concern as public money stops. Age Concern Enfield, which operates as Age UK Enfield, is in urgent need of funds after the withdrawal of public sector money. Services include the Parker Day Centre, dementia, home care, information and advice, befriending, fit for life, active life, foot care and home from hospital. To make a donation, visit www.justgiving.com/AgeUK-Enfield. Choose the gift aid option to increase the value of the donation by 25p in the pound.
The restaurant has paid a heavy penalty. Director admits hygiene and safety offences. A restaurant director has been ordered to pay £8,653 after admitting 5 food hygiene and safety offences. Ismail Korka, the director of Kosk Restaurant in Hertford Road, Edmonton, failed to improve hygiene standards after an Enfield Council food inspector visited the premises in August 2016. Hygiene improvement notices to deal with dangers of cross-contamination and poor food safety management were served, and training for food handlers ordered. Food inspectors revisited in 2016 and 2017, but food safety management was repeatedly found lacking. During a routine inspection in August 2017, an unsafe mincer was also found at the restaurant. At sentencing on January the 18th, a total of £8,653 in fines, costs and victim surcharges was levied. This included a £5,000 fine, £1,500 costs and a £120 victim surcharge for the food business operator Kosk Restaurants Limited, and a £500 fine, £1,500 costs and £33 victim surcharge for the director of the company, Ismail Korka, totalling £2,033. Councillor Daniel Anderson, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, said, Enfield Council will not tolerate businesses who cannot or will not comply with the law. We take a very dim view of premises that fail to adhere to safe food standards and that endanger the health of our residents and seek to undermine our strong communities. Our food safety inspectors always provide advice as to how restaurants can improve their food handling, hygiene standards and training. In this case, their advice was ignored, and for that, the restaurant and its director have rightly paid a heavy penalty. Food hygiene ratings of restaurants, cafes or businesses that handle food can be found at the Food Standards Agency's webpage, www.ratings.food.gov.uk.
Restoration ready. The extensive restoration of Bromfield Park's Garden of Remembrance is complete. Opened in 1929, the garden's memorial temple is dedicated to the people who died in the First and Second World Wars. The Friends of Bromfield Park Group is grateful for a War Memorial Trust grant that funded the work.
Exciting new phase.
It took 6
by
months to
Michael
complete.
Bowden. A fundraising target of over £800,000 to build a new North London Samaritans community hub has been achieved. Work to rebuild crumbling Shaftesbury Hall on Herbert Road in Bowes Park, affectionately known as Tin Tabernacle, will start on February the 26th. People with thoughts of suicide will be able to come to the new operation centre to talk about the causes of their problems. Other organisations will use the building to host health and well-being activities. John Pyatt, Director of North London Samaritans, said, "After 10 years of fundraising and 3 planning applications, we are now at the start of an exciting new phase in the 40-plus year history of North London Samaritans. The new Shaftesbury Hall Community Hub will guarantee the future of North London Samaritans in the years ahead and provide a wonderful new local space for hire. I thank all of our supporters, our volunteers, and the many local people who have helped make this happen. Our grateful thanks go especially to the Big Lottery, which provided the largest share of the money needed for our new hall. We also thank other charitable trusts and the local community who have supported this project. Samaritans can be contacted 24 hours a day throughout the year for free on 116 123 or 020 8368 6789 at local call charge rates. Alternatively, email joe, which is J-O, at samaritans.org, or you can visit www.northlondonsamaritans.org.uk, or even follow on Twitter that's the @ North London Sams.
Age UK offer free food for vulnerable older people. Age UK Enfield will be providing free, good quality food to vulnerable older people thanks to the Felix Project UK. Food ranges from fresh, tinned and packet. Visit the Age UK Enfield main office inside Ponders End Library every Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with a carrier bag.
It got them excited about university. A young entrepreneur is making plans for her future. Leandra Deer, 12, from Nightingale Academy in Edmonton, was one of the 5 Year 8 students to visit Middlesex University for the Junior Enterprise competition. Inspired to take an interest in business, the group worked as a team on a given brief, challenge against other schools. Leandra said, "It was a very good experience and nice to be at a university. It made me think about going to university in the future." Nicola Hunt, operational lead for careers and employability, added, "Our team didn't win, but they were commended for the way they worked as a team and really stood out as being a real asset to the school. It was nice to get the students out of their usual environment and interacting in this way. We picked students who wouldn't usually have the opportunity of working together, so that made it an extra challenge for them. It got them thinking about teamwork, communication skills, and the idea of how business works. It was really inspirational and got them excited about going to university in the future." And now I think Reena has another story concerning those pupils at Nightingale Academy.
Stairwell art display set to inspire pupils. An art gallery has been set up in a school stairwell. Renaissance, Impressionistic and other styles of art adorn the walls at Nightingale Academy in Edmonton to inspire students when moving between lessons. Each artist's name, date of birth, death and art form are displayed. Alec Lang, Assistant Vice Principal, said, "We have transformed the stairwell into a vibrant art gallery containing art from throughout the ages, with work from both female and male artists. The display gives students inspiration as they go up to the art department, which is a creative area. It shows them different styles and shows them how sometimes simple pieces of art can be quite successful. It encourages students to do a bit of research and find out more about the artwork. A second stairwell at Nightingale
to decide
Academy
future of historic building. A public consultation to decide the future use of the building that housed Enfield Highway Library has started. People have until February the 25th to make suggestions on how the premises could best serve the community. The building is on the local heritage list for Enfield and is a valuable historic asset which must be considered when making a decision. Library services moved to Enfield Business Centre last year. Councillor Ifa Orhan, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Education, Children's Services and Protection, said, "The former Enfield Highway Library building is a historic and much-loved landmark, and we think it is appropriate that it is used by the community now that it is no longer in use as a library. That is why we want residents to tell us what we should use the building for going forward, and we'd love to hear views of as many people as possible. We are committed to building strong communities which meet the needs of everyone who lives in them, and that means using all the resources at our disposal." Borough architect Richard Collins designed the building, officially opened in 1910, that Tottenham-based builders Henry Knight built at a cost of £10,000. In 1938, a bigger lending library was added to its rear. Now wait for this. To take part in the consultation, you have to visit the following web address, and I'm sorry about this, but I'll try to get it properly read. www.enfield.gov.uk/info/figures867/current_consultations/4004, that's in figures, /the_future_of_the_building the underscore, building underscore, that underscore, was underscore, formerly underscore, Enfield underscore, highway underscore, library.
Dance to World Cup glory. Young dancers are polishing their dance routines for the Dance World Cup in Spain. 58 Morgan Aslanoff Theatre School pupils have been selected to compete in the annual event in Barcelona this year. Dancers aged between 7 and 17 are fundraising to pay for the England kit they will wear with pride during the 9-day contest. From June 21 to June 31, the Palmer's Green Theatre School pupils will challenge dancers from 48 countries for top prizes. They will display their talents for street dance, tap dancing, jazz dancing and ballet. Michelle Aslanoff, the school's principal, said, "The Dance World Cup involves around 2,000 dancers from all over the world. Schools have to send in DVDs as audition pieces, and only 2 or 3 are picked from each country for each category. I think there were over 100 schools from all over England submitting recordings. It's a terrific honour to be selected to represent the country, and it's a wonderful opportunity for the children. Now we're busy fundraising because it's a huge expense to parents, of course. We're all extremely excited about it." Christine Michaels' 7-year-old daughter Natalia, who has been going to the Morgan Aslanoff Theatre School since the age of 2, has also been selected. Christine said, "We're over the moon because the school is amazing." Natalia added, "I'm really so excited. I've been practicing my routine for an hour a day and go to classes twice a week." Fellow mum Nina Poliviu has 2 daughters competing in the Dance World Cup, 7-year-old Joanna and 12-year-old Anastasia.
Sign up to see Spurs, not for the World Cup. Tottenham Hotspur is offering access to 10,000 season and match day tickets to supporters in Enfield and Haringey. The Premier League Football Club's offer comes from a scheme it agreed to when applying for stadium planning permission. Under the club's community ticket scheme, supporters living in each borough have been offered up to 2,500 season tickets and an equal number of matchday tickets. Current season ticket holders are unaffected by the ticket allocation, according to the club. Fans living in the 2 boroughs who have already bought a season ticket for the first time during the Wembley season are included in this number. Those on the club's bronze members waiting list who register their interest will be allocated tickets in the order they appear. Remaining season tickets, if any, will be released through the usual way to those on the waiting list. The club is asking residents to register an interest in buying a season ticket or registering for the residents' ticket scheme for matchday tickets. Both ticket types can be registered for. Those who buy a season ticket will be automatically removed from the matchday ticket process. Allocating residents' season tickets takes place after the club's usual renewal process of existing season ticket holders. There's more, so listen closely. Qualifying residents need to show photographic proof of identification and a recent utility bill with matching details in person at the club's ticket office before any season ticket or registration for the residents' ticket scheme is confirmed. And now there's a web address here. Spurs fans living in the London boroughs of Haringey or Enfield should visit www.tottenhamhotspur.com/the-club/residents-ticket-scheme/. And that's to register your interest. And that has to be done before February the 28th. Season tickets offered will be subject to availability after the existing season tickets holders' renewal period. Tickets cannot be guaranteed based on specific locations or price points. The club will contact people with their season ticket offer after the renewal process for current season ticket holders. Existing season ticket holders who live in Haringey or Enfield will not be able to apply for an additional season ticket. Existing One Hotspur bronze members living in either borough will be given priority.
Parents told to contact pharmacy. Parents are being told to consult pharmacists first when their child has a minor illness. A new campaign is calling for families to use their pharmacy to free up GP time for sicker patients. The Stay Well Pharmacy campaign comes following an NHS study which shows only 5% of parents with under 5s would visit a high street pharmacist. This is despite 3/4 of adults knowing the pharmacists are qualified healthcare professionals. 30% of people surveyed as part of the campaign find it difficult to speak privately with a pharmacist, while 26% feel they would need a GP anyway, so go there directly. Rita Jelani at Barnet Pharmacist said, "I've been a pharmacist for over 20 years and I'm proud to be one. On a daily basis, I'm treating and advising on a whole range of minor health concerns. But sadly, not enough people are coming to pharmacy teams when they are feeling under the weather, as there seems to be a misconception about the level of service that we can offer. So, I'm pleased this Stay Well Pharmacy campaign has launched. Hopefully, it will encourage people to visit us next time they have a minor health concern. Self-treatable conditions like coughs and tummy aches cost the NHS more than $850
I'll read the first
million.
one, and under the heading Times Have Changed, we have a letter from Eileen Gill of Copperfield Mews, Edmonton. She writes, "An open letter to Enfield Council. I came to live on the Klinger estate in 1984 from Wandsworth. When we came here, this estate was a pleasant place to live. Open areas of grassy spaces, easy access to Silver Street and the bus routes. In the 90s, I started an art club for children in Klinger Hall, despite the obstructive behaviour of those who had the franchise from Enfield Council to run a social club there. We, both the tenants and Mrs. Wyborn from the council, used to hold summer events where people would come and partake in music, arts and craft, plus food stalls. It was a time of neighbours socialising. Also, a small group of women started a gardening club where we bought plants and invested in new soils for some of the public areas. However, times changed. The estate gradually slipped into a negative state, that is, small-time crooks, kids undisciplined and running through the rat runs of the long halls to escape the police chasing them. Also, drug users started to use the stairways to deal and use, enlisting youngsters as carriers. The estate had turned into a ghetto. The council, in their wisdom, installed entry phones on all the blocks, put in secure doors, and then blocked our way onto the grassy areas with high railings. So now, to get access to Silver Street, we have massive detours to manoeuvre around, great for the oldsters amongst us. There was no philosophy of enrichment put in place, either to integrate humanely or promote well-being amongst the many people of various races, religions and languages. To top it all, the good intentions of recycling bins became a standing joke. Not only did those few of us left here who eagerly embraced the concept of recycling found we were fighting a losing battle with the disgraceful misuse that the bins were subject to, there was also the massive threat of disease from rat infestation caused by overflowing bins. Council, again in their wisdom, removed these old recycling bins and installed new ones. These take even less recycled goods. They are, of course, being given the same treatment as the old ones. Together with the parking horror story of hospital workers parking their cars willy-nilly, plus the tenants, some of whom have 2 or 3 cars, I feel I can safely say that we come under the banner of third world status.
The next letter's from Steve Melzak of Langside Crescent in Southgate, and it's headed Money Well Spent. I referred to the debate in the past weeks over the cycle lanes in Enfield, and most of what I have read is totally against it, and I think it an inconvenience and a waste of money. Being a motorist and cyclist myself, I am most certainly in favour of this scheme, because I believe the pros outweigh the cons. In fact, I actually applaud Councillor Anderson for having the foresight in trying to bring this borough into the 21st century. I accept there is some congestion around, but that is mostly caused by roadworks all over the place, which won't be forever, and once this is done, the traffic should flow. There are many boroughs which have cycle lanes established, and it works very well. The loss of part of some roads for cars to make way for cycle lanes is not really a hardship, and once the Bikes for Hire scheme is implemented, I can see a time when there will be a lot more people experiencing the pleasure of using the cycle lanes. I think the money from government was well spent on this scheme, and I only hope that it can be extended to all parts to keep this borough clean and green and help keep pollution down.
Now, Dr. Linda Miller of Raleigh Road, Enfield, writes under the heading Plenty of Warning. David Hughes states that I am angry about the orcas. Perhaps anger is appropriate, given that Enfield has had plenty of warning of the risk these structures present before they went ahead with the decision to install them. In early 2016, City of London trialled orcas and armadillos and removed them after just 4 weeks because of the very many tripping incidents they caused. They'd been replaced with reflective studs by May 2016. So the hazard they present to pedestrians was already well known, and yet still Enfield Council went ahead with their installation. Given that the dangers of orcas and armadillos for pedestrians was already well known before Enfield commenced this work, the only wonder is that Enfield Council is not by now staring down the barrel of a group litigation claim for damages.
Noise Nuisance by James Hockney in Bury Street West, Bushell Park. The concept of an F1 race around the iconic streets and locations in central London would be a welcome boost for the economy of the city and the country. However, what is not so welcome is the frequent small groups of motorists that use the A10 as their own staged night race. The roaring sound at night of modified cars travelling at excessive speeds is becoming sadly all too familiar. It is a problem that is getting worse rather than better and carries on from early evening to late at night on most days. Those living along the A10 in Enfield and Edmonton are having to put up with this increasing noise nuisance and wonder what action the local authorities
2 football and 1 table tennis. I'll start with Enfield hit woodwork 3 times as Kingstonian claim points. Town's luck is out in latest defeat. Struggling Enfield Town's winless run stretched to 9 games in all competitions following a 3-1 defeat at home to Kingstonian on Saturday. But an improved display gave them a boost heading into last night's clash with basement side Burgess Hill Town at Donkey Lane, and I can tell you they won that one. It looked like the Towners' fortunes might turn when Tyler Campbell gave them an early lead. Fortune was to desert the hosts thereafter, as they hit the post twice and were also denied by the crossbar before succumbing to a 5th consecutive league defeat to leave them 18th in the Bostik Premier Division table. After a slow opening, Mickey Parcell had the first effort when he fired wide following some neat link-up play between Ryan Blake and Sam Youngs. That was soon followed by Enfield making the breakthrough when Campbell latched on to a loose ball 20 yards out and hit a fine low drive past Kay's goalkeeper Robert Tolfrey. The advantage was to be relatively short-lived though, as a missed defensive header gave substitute Connor Hunt the chance to beat Joe Wright in style from 25 yards. The Towners' response to being pegged back was positive, with Ryan Blackman off target with a speculative effort from 30 yards before Blake saw another effort deflected through to Tolfrey. The hosts were to survive a couple of dangerous crosses into their box, but the opening period ended with them coming within inches of taking the lead when Blake smacked a fine shot against the upright. Enfield came out positively after the restart, with Brad Wadkins heading wide and forcing Tolfrey into a fine save following crosses from Youngs and Sami Bihumutin, respectively. It was then Young's turn to go close as he poked a shot wide of the far post following good work on the right from Parcell and Blackman. The woodwork came again to the K's rescue on the hour, when following a corner by the visitors, Blake broke upfield and after playing a 1-2 with Wadkins, sent across to the far post, where Youngs beat Tolfrey with a looping header, but it struck the bar and was cleared. To underline that Enfield's luck was out, Kingstonian took the lead against the run of play when Greg Cundall's low centre from the right eluded everyone except Andrew McCollins at the back post. 5 minutes later, a Blackman cross was cleared to the edge of the area where Campbell volleyed back at goal. The ball struck Tolfrey on his arm and deflected onto the post, eluding the onrushing forwards as the K's again survived. The Towners continued to search for the equaliser, but with just 2 minutes of normal time remaining, they were caught on the break, and Jerry Amu was tackled from behind by Youngs, with the substitute converting the resultant penalty to complete the 3-1 victory.
Same approach proves Borough's undoing again. Enfield Borough's 3-match winning run came to a shuddering halt on Saturday when they were thumped 5-0 at Ampthill Town. Bedfordshire side had won the reverse fixture 3-0 by getting bodies behind the ball and frustrating their opponents. Looking to hit them on the break, It was an approach that was to serve them well again. Although the pitch survived an inspection, Enfield's passing game was to get bogged down in the conditions, with their forwards frequently caught offside by Town's high line. Ampthill striker Sam Holmes was isolated for much of the game, but that didn't stop him scoring twice before the break to put his side in the driving seat. Enfield manager Marvin Walker responded with a double change at the interval, and this, coupled with some positional switches, saw the visitors look more threatening, but they were unable to reduce the deficit, and when Denise Karakaya was sent off with 20 minutes remaining, Borough's continued attempts to get back into the game played into Ampthill's hands, as they scored 3 more times at the closing stages through Bradley Clark, Holmes and Robert Newman.
Games selection for rising young star. Payet gets Commonwealth call-up. Denise Payet says it is mind-blowing to be called up to England's Commonwealth Games squad at the age of 16. The Enfield rising table tennis star has been named alongside Tintin Ho, Kelly Sibley and Maria Tsapsinos in the lineup for the Games, which begin in Gold Coast, Australia in April. It's amazing. I'm really excited for the experience and really happy that I get to be in the team and hopefully learn a lot from the experience, she said. It's a huge event and be something totally new, which I'm looking forward to. I've seen it on TV before, but to actually be there is mind-blowing. I'm really excited it's outside Europe, and also the training camp is in Japan. I'm over the moon that it's there because I've always wanted to go to Japan to practice, and I idolise their players. Payet, who is the youngest in the squad, believes England will have a chance of a medal in the team competition. She said, "Hopefully we can get a medal and I can be part of that. I think we've had a chance as a team. All the girls work hard and I'm really happy I can be with them. I idolised them when I was younger. They all look after me and make me welcome like a family. I don't feel left out at all. Having them be so welcoming is great and comforting." England's men's squad comprises Paul Drinkhall, Sam Walker, Liam Pitchford and David Macbeth. Payet has already been named in the England squad for the Team World Cup to be held at the Copper Box Arena in London from February the 22nd to the 25th. The UK junior number 1 has been invited to train in Linz, Austria, but requires financial help for this and her other commitments. If you're interested in supporting her, there is an email address, which I shall say once and then I'll break down a little slowly because it's a little bit of an alphabet soup. But the email address is zeyneppapiet3@yahoo.co.uk. Now that's spelled ZEYNEPPAPYET3, the number 3,
But I've got an
at
interesting article here from the Edmonton Green Magazine under the heading History and Edmonton Girls Charity School, a structure of hope. I wonder how many of you have stood at the bus stop in Church Street, Edmonton, waiting for a W8 to Enfield or Chase Farm, and sheltered in the doorway of the old Girls' Charity School and not been aware of its importance. Perhaps you've looked up and wondered why a statue of a young woman in a blue dress stands in a niche above the door. Latimer School had been established for the poor boys of Edmonton in 1624, and a girls' charity school had originated in Tottenham in 1735. It was not until 1778, however, that a subscription was raised to found a girls' school in Edmonton. Subscribers who donated at least £1 a year could nominate one pupil, and at the first meeting of the trustees, a fund of £750 had been invested. Perhaps we should not be surprised that the initial 13 guardians were all male. However, by the early 19th century, women had outnumbered the men at trustees' meetings by 4 to 1. One trustee, Obadiah Legrew, granted part of his property to build the school. The noise of the children offended his ears so much that he changed the offer and agreed to purchase land in Church Street for the establishment instead. He later reneged on this deal also, and the charity had to settle for a £50 donation from him. The function of the school was not to produce literate academic graduates. There was no accent on the 3 R's. The girls were taught to sew, wash and iron. At a later date, knitting was introduced, but mainly taught by the older girls. Work produced at the school was sold, and although a portion of the profits did go to the children, in the main it went to financing the institute. When they left, all that the young ladies were fit for was to go into domestic service. An incentive for getting your child into the school was that she would be clothed as well as educated. Each girl's school wardrobe would include petticoat, overdress, stockings and shoes. Should a child break any of the strict rules, she would be expelled and forfeit the garments. Parents would be anxious to keep their daughter at the school, so presumably encourage them to behave. An example of a child being expelled was when Elizabeth Parker went missing for the 3 days of the Edmonton Statute Fair. Any child caught visiting the Edmonton Theatre would also be dismissed immediately. Girls could be presented for entry between the ages of 7 and 12 and expected to leave by 14. Occasionally, schoolgirls were allowed an extension, particularly if they were helping teach the younger students. Classes were graded by ability rather than age, but the system could be abused, as when Mary Allen, one of the pupil teachers, was found guilty of taking bribes to unjustly promote some girls and hold back others who had crossed her. The school was brought under the control of the Anglican Church in 1815, but the Education Act 1902 drew education under the remit of local authorities for the first time. This meant closure of the charity school and pupils transferred to All Saints Elementary. The building today is in poor condition and under threat. The Enfield Society and Historic England are monitoring the situation, and a new tenant is required who can restore this important local structure. The plaque over the door reads, "A structure of hope, founded in faith on the basis of charity." It could do with Enfield Music Service Open Day. Well, that was held on Saturday the 27th of January, and it was the termly open day. It took place at the popular EMS Saturday Music Centre at Hounsfield Primary School. Children had an opportunity to try out lots of different instruments and take part in a number of group activities, such as ukulele club, steel pans, Saturday singers, music club for Year 1 and Year 2 children, and mini music makers, which is an exciting new group launched this term for reception-age children. Everyone had lots of fun trying out different instruments, and the whole event had a real community spirit with parents also invited to join in with the ukulele and steel pan groups. Now, for further information about lessons and activities offered by Enfield Music Service, you can call 020 8807 8881, or you can email info@enfieldmusicservice.org.
And the next one is Friday the 23rd of February, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m, the Enfield Philosophy Cafe, the Dugdale Centre, Enfield Town, EN2 6DS. Discover the exciting world of philosophy over a cake and a coffee, or a light meal and a glass of wine, with author and former philosophy lecturer Alan Murray. The sessions will take place every other Friday between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. and originally started on Friday the 9th of February. And each begins with a short talk by Alan on some of the key ideas in philosophy, followed by a lively and fun group discussion on how these ideas relate to contemporary issues. No preparation is required, and you don't need to have studied philosophy. All you need is an openness to new ideas and a readiness to have your mind blown. If you would like to attend one of the sessions, email Alan at enfieldphilosophycafe.com, and I'll just say that again, alan@enfieldphilosophycafe.com.
And now we have news of a clearance sale at the Ruth Winston Centre in Green Lanes, Palmer's Green. It takes place on Saturday the 24th of February from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Any item, £2 or under. There's bric-a-brac, nearly new clothes, linens, homeware, toys, cakes and snack lunches. Entry is 50p and there's no charge for children under 15. I also mentioned that if you want to make a difference in 2018 by becoming a volunteer, a group leader, or making a regular donation, or supporting one of their fundraising events, they'd be really pleased to hear from you. There's a phone and email address, so that is 0208 886 5346. info@ruthwinstoncentre.com, and the centre is at 190 Green Lanes, Palmer's Green, N13 5UE.
On Thursday the 22nd of February at 1 p.m. there's an organ recital at All Saints Church, Church Street, Edmonton, N9 9PE. There's an organ recital by Simon Catton in memory of Mr. Brian Freer. Brian was a long-standing member of the church and a trustee of the church fund. He was also an Enfield Society member and long-established and much-loved Walks leader. His relatively sudden death as a result of motor neuron disease was very sad.
And finally, Britain's Got Magic, Sunday the 18th of February, 2 p.m. Tickets £20, concessions £16. This is a mainly visual show, but with other sides to it. It's a magical night at Millfield with Christian Lee from Britain's Got Talent 2016. Leading the way with his wacky performance, unique style and tongue-in-cheek humour, Christian has been dubbed the King of Comedy Magic by Time Out. He's joined by Max Somerset, the Unusualist as he's known, and the Magic Circle's Oliver Tabor. Enjoy a night of illusion, sleight of hand and mind reading with these top magical acts who will confound, astound and perform the impossible before your eyes. It's a show that is suitable for the whole family and features many different styles of magic and illusion. Watch closely as these masters of magic conjure up an evening of mind-boggling acts and humour. Be prepared to be tricked, amazed and flabbergasted. And the following statements have been made. Mighty magical talents, that's the Evening Standard. Slick Tricks, the Daily Express, and from Time Out,
we've reached the end of our
fabulous
programme
magic
for
this
little
week.
comic.
Thank you for listening. So from the team of Danny, Patricia, Reena, John, and Peter on the controls, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, well, I was waiting for Reena to say goodbye, but she's too shy. Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the memory stick into the packet in a closed position and return it to us as soon as possible in readiness for the next edition. Don't forget you can call Diane de Jersey regarding any help you may require in connection with Enfield Talking Newspaper on 020 8805 6578. Coming up next, the latest news and information for the Greater London area from InfoSound. The Enfield Talking Newspaper will be with you again in 1 week's time.